To the powers that be at East Tennessee State University, please tell new head men's basketball coach Jason Shay he's doing something that's not cool. Hi everyone, I'm Marky Billson, and I'm big on transparency. I'm big on information. I think for a school, any school, I don't care if you're Alabama or Notre Dame or ETSU or Quinnipiac or Catawba or who you are, it is imperative, I think, to get more information out to the public. That's just good branding. It's just good salesmanship, if you will. It keeps people informed, that sort of thing. But it's something that Jason Shay hasn't been doing a lot of lately, and that's unfortunate because Shay has a side of him that I think could be really good with the media. Case in point, I was listening to his pregame interview before the Buccaneers' 86-78 victory against Western Carolina, and he was referencing and quoting Dennis Rodman, and I thought that was great. You know, not Scottie Pippen, certainly, what's he ever said, not MJ, but Dennis Rodman. I thought that was absolutely wonderful. Now, in that game against Western Carolina, Shay benched David Sloan. David Sloan had been the point guard of the Buccaneers for the first 8 games of the season. Transfer from Kansas State, said he had, this is Shay's actual quote, actions, behaviors, and responses to certain things I just felt were detrimental to the team. And Shay is absolutely within his rights to make such a decision. And to bench Sloan, who, by the way, his Twitter account says that he is the chosen one, so chosen that he averaged 19 and a half minutes last year at Kansas State. Boy, you're really yeah. But to bench Sloan really cast Shay as a disciplinarian. Because, as I said, he had started the first 8 games of the year. It was the Bucs Southern Conference opener, and they were playing Western Carolina, who, although they've beaten them like a drum over the last generation or so, also had a 7-2 record going into the game. Problem was, Shay has been, dare I say it, deceptive to the media, or at least disingenuous. Give you some examples. He never told anybody that he was benching Sloan. In fact, according to Jay Santos, who initially reported on the air that, David Sloan's in street clothes. So that not only, and Jay, I mean, he's a real pro. He handled it very well as could be expected under the circumstance. But it's standard operating procedure. If someone is not being made available for a game, you hand out a flyer to the media beforehand saying, Sloan has been suspended for the game for disciplinary reasons. That sort of thing. I'd like to know what the disciplinary reason is. We don't know if he was late for practice or if he was plotting to be a James Bond villain. We have no idea. However, yes, it was stuff that was detrimental to the team, whatever it was. Still, it wasn't so detrimental that he couldn't watch the game from the bench in street clothes or take part in the pregame shoot-around. So you have to wonder, just how bad was it? Now, again, I don't have a problem with benching or suspending Sloan if Shay feels it's necessary. I just don't like that it's kept hush-hush, and this really hurts the identity of ETSU and will probably hurt ETSU in developing a basketball program if the message comes out that you're so interchangeable that if you are benched, we don't even mention it. Well, who cares? We'll just go next man up. Shay was here today but gone tomorrow. Now, he might be back. His status is day to day. But still, this just isn't the way to handle things. Was Sloan only told of his suspension an hour before the game? Why, if that is the case? I mean, wouldn't you tell him as soon as possible, especially to get his act straightened up? Why would he be shooting around with the team if he wasn't gonna go? Did you just find out about this? And it stands to reason that this is one of the reasons why ETSU got off to such a sluggish start. against the Catamounts. Here they only shot 39% from the field in the first half, missed half their free throws, this sort of thing. And yeah, that's what happens when you just suddenly insert, with no warning, a new point guard. It was Cyril Smith, Jr., who is a freshman and a coming prospect for ETSU. But even if you were going to, put the youngster in for the veteran or something like that, and that's not what happened because Sloan was suspended, but even if you were going to do that, you want to mention it in the pregame notes, this sort of thing. And that's been a problem with Jason Shay. Now, let me give you this track record with Jason Shay. December 10th, Shay did not reveal 2 substitute players who would miss a game with UAB due to coronavirus concerns, and he wouldn't reveal them to Joe Avento of the Johnson City Press. A week before, Shay told Avento, I had a game lined up with a potential opponent, but it fell through, and he wouldn't name the potential opponent. Now, this goes back, in my opinion, all the way to 2019. If you remember 2019, ETSU was in the College Insider Tournament playing Wisconsin-Green Bay. Well, Steve Forbes had been called away. He had a death in the family. And so Jason Shay served as the interim coach. The Buccaneers had in their pregame notes 2 players who didn't play, including Mladen Armas, who, of course, transferred to Boise State after the game. You'll remember I asked Steve Forbes, did you play him with a concussion? Because Shay had told me in an interview on my old talk show that Shay had withstood a injury during the ball game. Then all of a sudden, and I say the ball game, I should say during the last Southern Conference tournament game ETSU played before they lost. And so Armas was hurt, they said, suffered a head injury, but was never taken out of the game, at least not in the last 6 minutes. Then ETSU closes all the practices. They don't do that. They haven't done that before, to the media. And then suddenly in the CIT game, with the notes reading that Armas is going to start, he's on the bench. He's not playing. He's injured. And he's surprised that Armas transferred away to Boise State? Really? And I asked Jason Shay, and he confirmed, he was hurt in the ballgame. And when Forbes was saying, how dare you question my integrity, and shouting at me, when I asked him about it at a press conference, all he could say, he never said I didn't play Armas with a concussion. You know what he said? Oh, he was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs after the game. Sounds like he played him with a concussion, huh? And this is very deceptive. This is very disingenuous. It's very harmful to the players in the Armas situation. Sloan, maybe not so much. But it's presenting a culture, what I call almost Baron von Raschke coaching. That is all the people need to know. Baron von Raschke, a former bad guy wrestler from several generations ago, and that was his tagline. That is all the people need to know. He'd give an interview and all that and make you feel like you were being left out. Well, that's what Jason Shay is doing right now, and possibly even to his own players if Sloan wasn't informed of his suspension until an hour before ball game. Now, and certainly in the case of Armas, as I said, it is really deceptive, and considering how the Buccaneers lost to Wisconsin-Green Bay when they did this, to UAB when they did this, and they couldn't get out of the gate against Western Carolina, team they'd beaten 14 straight games at home, and were trailing at the half 38-33, this isn't very effective coaching either. Now, the programs of the SoCon can only grow if they are media-friendly and release all the information they have. That's the way for the mid-majors to go up the ladder. Give all the information. Make it easy to follow them. Not, what player is playing today? It is time for the Southern Conference Commissioner, Jim Schaus, step in and insist on disclosure from all the coaches, not just Shay, but all the coaches in the conference under these circumstances, or else be subjected to fines. Folks, I'm Marky Billson. I thank you for watching the video. If you like the unapologetic and no-holds-barred and very truthful commentary on sports in Upper East Tennessee, be it the Buccaneers, be it the Vols, be it whoever, and occasionally Pittsburgh, then I ask you to follow me on YouTube. Just hit the like button there and hit the bell as well. Also, follow me on Medium. I've got about 300 followers on there, and write daily columns. We'll get back into the mainstream media very shortly. But